I think that feels like a nice package there.
Yeah.
Wow, look at those phones lined up. It's Felger and Mazz on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
1-2 pitch to Riley. High fly ball, left field deep. He smoked that. Duran turns and see you later. Riley with his 7th of the year, a 3-run homer to put the Braves in front right away in the first inning.
Cutter. Ground ball pitcher. Put the cutter in your pocket. Lifted. It was up in the zone. Sinker down there. Just cut it. It's just an easy pitch to lift. If I'm facing a sinker ball and he throws a cutter, I'm looking for that because I don't want to hit the sinker.
Riley kind of has his number. He's 6 for 10 on Bayo. That one traveled 431 feet. 3-1 coming. And he takes ball 4, and that'll force in a run. Mateo will score. Baldwin will pick up his 37th RBI. It's 4-0 Atlanta. And Mike Yastrzemski with a high fly to the corner, drifting back Abreu, turning around, and that ball is gone. Now he's having himself another big day against the Red Sox. His second home run of the year. A solo drive to start the inning. And it is 6-0.
This is a curveball down and in. Just goes down and gets it and scoops it.
And we do have some stuff to get to. Jaylen Brown still on the internet. More evidence on the lack of importance of goaltending in the NHL and NHL and NBA playoffs from over the weekend heading into this week. We can get to that. I was off on Friday, so I wasn't there to react to the Patriots and the NFL schedule, which I will do today. Follow-up thoughts on that. Also coming your way. Tom Brady speaks at graduation, so we got a lot of stuff to get to. Mazz has a thought on the golf, as he tends to do, coming out of major weekend. So your thoughts on all of it at 617-779-0985. But I'll start with the Red Sox thought, Mazz, because I happened to be watching early in the game yesterday, and that was a full montage there of Brian Bayo's day in Atlanta as the Sox get walloped 8-1. But I was just watching the first inning, just checking in, see what it looks like here in the first inning. Brian Bayo, who had been propped up by openers in his last 2 outings, and actually pitched okay. So that formula was working where they had thrown out the bullpen before he came out in the second inning. That had been working. Well, they decided to start him in this game, so I'm checking in. And first inning, he's in a little bit of trouble. He's got first and second, 1 out. He gets a fielder's choice, and now it's first and third. Now it's first and third, 2 outs. And I'm out of town, so the feed I have, I think it was the Atlanta broadcast. And he gets Austin Riley, and that's how that clip began. And the team broadcaster there in Atlanta says something along the lines of Austin Riley has good success against Brian Bayo here. And then he gave the numbers. Jimmy just looked them up for me. Heading into yesterday, 6 of 8. But so 6 of 8 is what Riley was. Or they said something like that. Good number. 6 of 8, but all singles, the guy said. Stu here has 1 double. But either way, they said something about good numbers, Austin Riley versus Brian Bayo. So it's first and third. It's 2 outs. Now the guy up there has seen the ball well against Brian Bayo, but hasn't really hit the ball hard, apparently, because they're mostly all singles. And I say to myself, okay, this is a spot. Here's a spot for you. You know this guy has seen you well. He's gotten base hits off of you, but it's first and third. It's 2 outs. You're about to get out of this inning. You have him 1 and 2. You're about to get out of this inning. Here we go. It's an inflection point. And he throws such a meatball.
Yep. Right
down the middle. He was like an 88-mile-an-hour cutter, or they called it a sinker there on the broadcast.
Cut fastball.
Sort of a little, not four-seam, but like a cut fastball, 88 miles an hour, middle, and Austin Riley drills it into the stands. And I said to myself, this guy's freaking gutless. Gutless. Brian Bayo is gutless. Because that was just, in the sporting context, right there, was just a perfect little moment. This guy's seen you well. You've got him 1 and 2. You're about to get out of the inning. What do you have? And he has nothing. He is ballless. He is gutless. And after steadying himself with the so now that he doesn't have the training wheels of an opener, now he's left to his own devices. He just can't deliver on it, Mazz. The guy has no balls, no heart, there's no there with Brian Bayo, which led me to ask, who is our most gutless Red Sox? Who is the most gutless member of the Red Sox right now?
Well, he's up there.
Yeah, he's a good candidate for sure. I mean, how many times have we have to, for anyone that still wants to defend him, there's still so much potential with Brian Bayo. Enough with that. He's a bum. He stinks.
So, again, if we're using the word gutless.
He's gutless.
He's up there. He might be number one on the list.
Him or maybe Duran.
Who's the most gutless Red Sox? 617-779-0985. Go from the top down.
Bayo would get my vote. Now, if
gutless owner, gutless GM. Who's the most gutless Red Sox?
the GM's gutless, too.
Who's the most number one?
It's hard to pick anyone other than Bayo now.
Marcelo, Meyer, Roman. You got young guys who appear kind of gutless.
Yeah, the sample on them's a little smaller, though.
Right.
Like, I got to weigh that in. So if we're talking about all the elements of gutlessness, Bayo's up there. Bayo might be number one. Now,
the owner's number one for me. I'm sorry to cut you off, because anytime he has spent money here in recent years, it's reactionary because they made fun of me and they booed me. It takes guts to make a bold move to make this team a competitive operation again. He does not have the guts to do that. When he has spent money, it's because they've made fun of me. Are they poking fun? Linda, is that what's happening? Oh, I'll show them. Yeah, and then put up your cigar photo on Instagram, and then you don't re-up Alex Bregman? No, number one, the most gutless, is John Henry.
I mean, can I put the whole front office in one bucket?
Yes.
Henry, Kennedy, and Breslow? I feel like the source of their problems is gutlessness in the front office. Yeah, I'd lump them all together. There's just not a willingness to take risks anymore, which by definition is gutlessness. Now, you can call it smarts if you want, but I look at it and say, no, they've taken a passive approach, a conservative approach, which is a low-risk approach. That by definition is gutlessness. Now, look, like, I would also tell you, on one way I'd tell you Jarren Duran is kind of gutless, and the other ways I'll tell you, like, but he plays hard. He doesn't play scared or play passively. He plays aggressively. So I like the fact that he hustles and stuff like that, but I don't love some of the antics with him. I think that's gutlessness in some level. I'll tell you this. Trevor Story going on the injured list, and I'm not telling you it was his call, but this is what happens when guys are going bad and they don't want to play. And all of a sudden you can't face your failure, and now all of a sudden you're on the injured list. Now, look, he's got a sports hernia, and he's going to need surgery. He's probably been playing with it from spring training. But why now? Like, why all of a sudden now is it coming up? Because he's been so bad that now they're going to say we're pulling the plug on you? So I wonder how much of it was, just the repeated failure, and he finally relented. So, I don't know. Look, honestly, with this team, Mike, you could list... I think it's easier to list the guys who aren't gutless.
Who's not gutless?
Early, Tolley.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys to me have been pretty good.
Aroldis Chapman made a winning kind of tough play.
He did
over the weekend.
He's a little scary sometimes, but
I don't know if Brian Bayo represents what you are, but I just thought that was such a gutless pitch, and then the next inning he is completely unnerved, walks in a run, and is completely gone from there. I mean, even his catcher called it out. You hear what Narvaez said? Narvaez said after the game, that pitch to Riley, the 1-2 pitch to Austin Riley, that pitch to Riley, catcher Narvaez said, took him out of the game mentally. Like, obviously. Like, he's
right.
The weakest, just weak mentally, that particular pitcher. As Tim Healy writes in the Boston Globe, in 7 traditional starts this year, where he starts the first inning, Brian Bayo has a 9.68 ERA. 9.68. 33 earned runs in 30 and 2/3 innings.
He needs that buffer.
In 2 appearances behind an opener, 1.35 ERA.
That's weird.
It's weak.
It's
weak. It's gutless, so you need a babysitter. He
needs an opening act.
You need your mommy to drop you off at school.
He's like the guy who needs someone to push the bobsled.
You need a push on the swing.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
This guy is mentally weak, gutless, and I don't mean to just like pick on him, but it's just that's what happened yesterday.
So look, the word I would use with him is a loser, and I don't mean this in I mean that there are winners and losers. There are people who win and people who lose. He loses. He's a losing player. I don't think Brian Bayo is a winning player. I think they have a lot of guys who are on the loser side of that line.
So what do you do with him then? What do you do with him? Story they're doing something with. What do you do? Caleb Durbin, what do you do with these guys? I mean, there's
AAA.
There's a handful of guys now, Mazz. I mean, it's getting time.
Mike, seriously, the whole there's a lot of them on this team.
I know, where it's what are you doing? You've given them now almost 2 months to establish themselves or come out of it, and you're not, and you're one of the worst teams in the league. And so what are you doing? Playing that guy every day or putting that guy out there every 5 days or whatever the case may be. So Domino 1, Trevor Story, IL, and it ain't going to be 10 days. It's probably going to be longer, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have surgery. You're looking at somewhere from, I think they said 6 to 10 weeks or something like that.
All right, so, there's one.
Yep.
But don't they have to start knocking some guys out of here now?
Yes, yeah, and I think you're going to start seeing some of it. Again, Crochet is going to come back.
And that'll knock Bayo down to AAA, I would think.
Yeah, so that's within the next couple of weeks. By the end of the month, Crochet should be back, at least based on what's out there now.
You think Bayo's going to go to AAA?
I do.
After they sign him to that contract?
Yep.
Again, not that he's got a killer contract, but they gave him like that second contract.
Oh, yeah, no. They're going to have a hell of a team down at AAA once they ship down all the guys they gave deals to. But he can go down and play with Christian Campbell. That's good. And I don't think Rafaela's headed there, but who the hell knows? Roman Anthony might need a rehab assignment by the time he comes back. Maybe he'll be down there.
Caleb Durbin hitting 160-something?
You might have a higher payroll in Worcester than you do at Fenway Park.
Come on.
So, look at this is what, again, and what concerns me is that there are some guys in the middle, Mike, that you would look at and you would say, okay, like, do I believe that Roman Anthony is a loser? No, I don't. I don't know if he's a winner. And I think, to me, this is the distinction.
The young guys, we don't know. We don't know. It's too early, to put them in the gutless category, but it's not like they've proven the other thing.
I mean, how many guys on this team would you call winners?
I don't know. Chapman.
Chapman is even iffy to me.
Sure. I don't know.
Okay, he's iffy to me. So, based on what I saw, and it's a small sample, Crochet last October looked like a winner.
Yes, Crochet.
Okay, Crochet looked like a winner. I think Wilson Contreras has some winning DNA in him. That home run the other night was, okay, it's a game winner. It's a regular season game. But he's feisty. There's competitiveness there. He's the kind of guy that I think opponents would be wary of in a big game just because he gets up for it. And he seems to get competitive about ground balls to first base, for crying out loud. So I like that. I think there's some winning element in him. Who else? Story? Story's never won anywhere in his life. He's been a losing player the large majority of his career. Caleb Durbin's not good enough to be a winner. Even if it's, he's got sort of a grinding attitude. Marcelo Meyer has some loser qualities more than winner qualities. That would concern me about his makeup. Rafaela makes a lot of stupid plays, as clutch as he's been. Again, I think there's an offset there with some of the mistakes he makes that makes him more of a losing player. Abreu feels somewhere in the middle. I don't think they have many guys that are winners. Sonny Gray's a loser. Sonny Gray historically has been a guy in a big spot who doesn't come through. I can't call him a winning player. I think they got guys piled up in that clubhouse right now who don't know how to win.
God, it's just so bad.
And Brian Bayo is Exhibit A.
Gutless. Complete gutlessness is what that was yesterday. But anyway, it's a reentry Monday. So like I said, everything on the board from the weekend. NBA, NHL playoffs, of which you are not a part of. Any jumping off points, watching what's going on the ice or on the floor that make you think about the Bruins or the Celtics, or any thoughts on that? The NFL schedule, again, you have a full weekend to marinate on that, both the Patriots slate and across the league. We can circle back to that as well. Tom Brady at the graduation speech, we're going to hit on that. Jaylen Brown cannot get off. He just cannot get off the internet. We're going to get to that. So your thoughts on any of that stuff, phone lines are open for you at 617-779-0985. Quick word that we come back with you here on a Reentry Monday on Felger and Mazz.
Felger,
Shush.
Mazz, the Sports Hub.
Swing and a miss. That'll be the ball game. 8-1 the final. And a game that was over pretty quickly. A 3-run first inning off of Bayo. Atlanta took command of the game and never looked back.
Well, not really much went right here today for the Red Sox. Offensively, he's quiet. You got to run there in the ninth inning to avoid the shutout. But, now 18 runs in the last 9 games. But this one was over early. Brian Bayo was given the start. There was no opener, and he looked a lot like he did before when he was given starts. So we'll see what they decide to do next time. But he needs to be better, pound the zone, get ahead, fell behind everybody, throw strikes, locate. But today, just wasn't their day from the beginning.
Red Sox now 0-19 when trailing by 3 runs at any point in the game.
Just quick, that stat that O'Brien said, 0-19 when they get down by 3 at any point in a game, which is the definition of gutlessness and impotence. But, again, obviously those two are related when it comes to the Red Sox. And you mentioned that at bat with Austin Riley early in the game. Bayo early in his career, his two-seam fastball, his sinker, unhittable by right-handed batters. Unhittable. Like to the point where I almost thought, dude, throw it 80% of the time to right-handed batters. They can't hit it. And I don't know how many people are going to remember this, but he gave up some hits to righties early on, and even the ones he gave up were little dribblers and infield hits. It was freaking a dominant pitch because you were bringing up the numbers with Austin Riley. So Riley had 6 for 8 or whatever you said it was, and they were all singles or because you're beating the ball into the ground. So why would you throw him anything other than that? If you give up a ground ball single, you give up a ground ball single. You can't give up a 3-run home run in the first inning.
I mean, it was just such a early little snapshot. What do you have?
He gave in.
And he gave up. And he just kind of gave up or let go of the rope and it's just all you need to know about that particular player. And this team, frankly.
And opponents know it. They know which guys, when you hit them hard, will collapse. And Bayo's one of those guys.
Mike's in Gloucester. Lead us off today, Mike. What do you got?
Caleb Durbin is the worst baseball player I've ever seen grace a Red Sox uniform. And if you ever see Greg Weissert picking up the fucking ball in the bullpen, game's over.
Okay. Well said.
No, it was well said.
Right out of the chute.
That's pretty much how I would say it. Yeah.
Weissert. Is he gutless or just an arsonist?
Arsonist.
Both. Just a complete arsonist.
Anytime you put him in a big spot, though, it's like
bomb squad.
Seriously. Yeah. Diarrhea.
Seamus in Dorchester. Go ahead, Seamus.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm here to talk about Marcelo Meyer and the underwhelmingness, gutlessness that he's had. He's had 90 games now. Everything is worse than last year. He doesn't get torched like the rest of them do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's early. It's early is why. People are holding out hope. There's still a lot of natural ability. Should he go to shortstop every day, Mazz, and have that job till Story comes back and then probably even after?
Yeah, at this stage, probably.
Why not?
Yeah, and probably, again, he's not hitting. I mean, he's done a 218. The OPS is under 600, which is laughable. I mean, that's a bad number. And, you're talking about a half a season worth of sample size now. He's got 250 at-bats in the big leagues. It's not a small thing, and he's not getting better. He's getting worse. I mean, Matt McCarthy sent us an email the last week on him. I'm assuming we're going to get to that.
Sure. Do you want to get to it now, Mazz?
Sure, why not? It basically goes through, and I don't have I can give you the exact numbers updated off of his baseball reference page. But when you look at Meyer's career stats in the minor leagues, in single A ball, he had an OPS of 910. Then he went to high A, and it was 865. Then he went to double A, and it was 763. The point is, every year, when they moved him up a level, his numbers got worse. Now he's in the big leagues, and he's hitting 218. So is it possible the guy is really not a good player, and there's a reason why he slipped to number 4 in the draft? It looks good. He looks the part. He looks like a ball player. He moves like a ball player, but the numbers keep getting worse and worse and worse. So at some point, how do you explain that?
McCarthy says once Meyer stopped facing Czechoslovakian goat farmers, plumbers, and literal children in single A, he stopped hitting with any type of authority. From the moment he started playing real baseball in double A, the real Marcelo Meyer has shown up. He's a bust, and you heard it here first 2 years ago. So I guess McCarthy has been saying this for a couple of years.
He's been concerned about him for a while.
I disagree. I think he's a natural, and it could be a matter of time with him. I say could. I'm hedging a little bit because I see what you see. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you he's been something he's not. I just think there's so much natural ability there. On him and Anthony, I worry about all the other stuff. What's his heart, his head, his balls, his work ethic, all that whole bucket of stuff. So he might not have that. That's hard to sort of quantify. That's hard to know what a player has in any sport. You can see natural ability. There's a lot of guys in all sports who have natural ability who don't have that other thing. Natural ability is only going to get you so far. So he's got to have all that other stuff. Maybe he doesn't have that other stuff. He has the athleticism and the natural smoothness and swing, and he's got all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's polished.
But if he's just another gutless Red Sox that doesn't get it, then he'll suck too.
I'm starting to wonder if he's a dope, is what I'm starting to wonder.
Something like that. Mike and Warwick on a Reentry Monday on Montreal. Yes, Mike.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I know there was a lot of talk the last couple of weeks about how upsetting it was watching the Sixers and the Knicks series, but watching this Montreal series, I can't help but think the same thing about the Bruins. I don't know what happened to the Buffalo team. They seem like the Bruins, except a little bit better offensively, and I'm genuinely surprised this series has gone 7 games. Just wanted your thoughts on that.
Well, so why are you surprised it's gone 7? I don't understand his point at all.
Both of those teams, the way that they play offensively, look like they're playing a different sport than the Bruins. So if he feels like there's sour grapes because the Bruins didn't move on, they were going to beat Buffalo. They were lucky to get it to 6.
Watching those two teams is like listen to Felger and Mazz at 1.5 speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same sport. It's just at a half speed, a half level faster. The speed of that series is frightening because you're so far behind speed-wise. So far behind. So that's my takeaway from those two. And I don't know. I don't know what exactly the caller's point is. I don't know what you want a thought on that series. I think it's a testament to how far you can go with no goaltending. I mean, no goaltending, zero goaltending. If you've watched any of those games, the goaltending between those two teams is just horrific.
That thing Saturday night was an abomination.
Horrific. The entire series, horrid goaltending on both sides. One of those three goalies, one of those two teams, one of those sets of goaltenders are going to be a step away from the Stanley Cup final, which just shows you how devalued that position has become recently. But those two teams would worry me, especially Montreal, in terms of the number of speed skill guys they have and how little you have in that regard. And how do you plan to beat that? You're not going to catch them anytime soon in the speed skill department. You know, the little shifty guys running around out there. You're nowhere close and can't catch them in terms of that. So how do you plan to beat that? Do you plan to get bigger and just sort of bury them? I don't know. I don't know if the league is conducive to that anymore. But both those teams would scare me. I think not record-wise, but just play style-wise, you're well behind them. Well behind both those teams in your division. And we're still not even talking about teams like Florida and Tampa. So I watched that series, and I feel worse about the Bruins. I'll put it to you like that. Is that what you're looking for, caller? Here's an update from Big Jim Murray, and we're back on a Reentry Monday.
Mike and Tony have a definite chemistry.
Are they? 100%.
Are they?
Yes, 100. Do I stutter?
Do you consider them the periodic table of sports talk?
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Sorry. We need to blow a gasket.
No. Blow it, baby. Blow it.
Felger and Mazz.
I enjoyed the last couple of holes. I thought the guy who won it, what's his name again?
Aaron Rai.
Aaron Rai. Okay, Aaron Rai was a good story. I didn't know his name going into the event, and I can guarantee you I'm not going to remember it coming out. So you will never hear from this guy again, is my prediction. I could do without the 2 gloves, little dorky, looks like a little kid whose hands are cold, and I understand in his case that a lot of his, I'll call them quirks or preferences on the golf course come from when he was a kid. For example, Majori was telling me before the show that the guy used to have iron covers on his
oh, God.
Okay. However, there's a story behind it that changes my opinion on it. His parents did not have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. His father, because his son learned golf, his father invested in a nice set of irons for him. The kid didn't want to ruin them.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And so
sort of kept it.
Right. So, and I don't think he uses them anymore, but there was a period of time where he did use them, which is different on tour.
Right.
Okay. But okay, I get it. Like that one, I'll let go. The 2 gloves, dude, you got to grow out of that one. You look like a clown. And I will say, of all the majors we've watched in the last couple of years, there have been some guys who've won these who've crapped their pants down the stretch and held on. This guy did not. He was nails. He hit everything pretty much down the middle, onto the green, made some putts. Like, he was from airtight, particularly on the back nine. He deserved to win the tournament. But he has reached his peak. Enjoy the view, because you will never see it again.
Why do you say that?
I just don't think he's good enough. I think his game is perfectly tailored for this kind of event. And, you know, he hits the ball very straight.
What do you mean this kind of event?
PGA Championship, you know, high grass. It's basically a U.S. Open knockoff. Yeah. And I didn't mind the way they set up the course for this event, because I actually thought that it was hard, but it wasn't U.S. Open ridiculous. I can get behind a tournament with full respect when the winners finish in single digits, but don't give me +1 and +2. Okay, I got no time for that. Like, I just don't enjoy a slog. There was some shot making in this. Again, I was talking to Kevin about it a little before the show started. Par fours that you could drive on the front and the back. So there were some opportunities to score. Yes, it was difficult, but it also gave you something back. So typically for a PGA, I think the PGA Championship sucks. I think it's the worst major. This one I didn't hate as much as I usually do.
Oh, well, that's something.
A step in the right direction.
Who do you want to laugh at?
The South African.
Oh!
Took you a minute there.
Well, I mean, you put some in your email.
Yeah.
I forgot, I know. Potkeeter, I told you on Thursday and Friday, he would crap his pants. He was in the lead for the first 2 rounds, basically, or fighting for the lead. He finished in 35th.
I mean, you called it
35th over par.
I think you called it at like 14 in his second round. He shot a 67 round 1, I think 70 round 2. But it started to slip away a little bit in that second round on Friday, and you just kept, every time, Mike, I mentioned it during the headlines. I was like, oh, and in first right now, leading on top of the leaderboard, PGA Championship round 2. Is it Christian point gutter or
no? It's
Aldrich pot gutter.
Yeah,
Imagine, I'm telling you right now, Murray, he's gonna crap his pants. Gonna crap his pants.
Live Masters.
Yeah, and he did.
And he did.
Yeah, he disappeared on Sunday. You didn't even see him at all. And it's hard to miss him. You can see him from space, for crying out loud. That whale. Holy crap. Wow.
All right, there's your
Boy, did he blow up.
There's your PGA Minute. If you want to weigh in on that, you can. Back to your phone, sir. As promised, Bob and Newton on the Sox. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, hi. I think Trevor's story is pretty much finished, not just with the Red Sox, but with any baseball team. And I say that because if you remember Gutless, I mean, he was a real excellent hitter with the Red Sox for like 7-8 years. And then you got sports hernia, just like Story, and the Red Sox cut him. He went to the White Sox, and they cut him, and even had a cup of coffee with the Yankees, and that was the end of his career.
Well, I'm curious how much more of this Trevor Story experience the Red Sox are subject to. Is this his last year, or does he got another year after this?
He's got one more.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, I think he's cashed. I think it's over.
And I'm sorry. I'm going to say, I told you so. Like, when I finally took a look at the roster heading into the year after spring training, I said, I don't know what I like here. I don't know about this. I didn't feel good about the team. And, part of it was what they were relying on with Trevor Story. He said, well, what is Trevor Story? You think he was, what's the outlier? That half season he had last year or everything else? And not just that, the Colorado stuff was really overrated. I mean, when you looked at what he did in other ballparks outside of Colorado, what was he? And then he came here and was either just chronically hurt or underperforming. And then for whatever that was last year, that half-season stretch where he put it together, okay, fine. But what's everything else been? So that is what he is, and everything else is the outlier? Or what's the outlier, in other words? And it's obvious that stretch last year was the outlier. this is what he is.
Yeah, and you had right to be concerned with him even when he got here. He was a Colorado production. His numbers in Colorado were way higher than they were anywhere else. He gets on the road, you can pitch to him. Now they got him after he's been beaten up and injured a little bit later in his career. I think he's cashed. He's starting to remind me a little bit of, do you remember years ago, someone brought the name up at the end. Do you remember the Red Sox got a guy named Mike Lansing?
Yeah, well, yeah, sure.
Do you remember that? Okay, Mike Lansing started his career at the Expos, then he went to Colorado, and there was a little stage in there, where he started to produce a little bit. The Red Sox brought him in, cashed out. He had nothing left. And I'm starting to feel that way about Story.
Good comp. Ken in the car. Go ahead, Ken.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I know you guys have been bashing on Bayo, and I'm right there with you. You got to just – I know they gave him the reins yesterday, and they took the training wheels off with the opener, but this guy needs to go to AAA immediately. Like, I don't know if you bring up the kid Jake Bennett again. I don't know what kind of other options that you got, but I just wanted you guys' thoughts because I know Crochet's coming back. But
yeah, enough. It's like the makeup thing. Like, start peeling the guys out who don't get it. And I know the list of Red Sox players who do get it is short, Mazz, as you sort of were alluding to earlier. But the obvious guys, like this one, he has sucked all year. A couple starts ago, he shows up his interim manager badly, who comes to get him early in the game, shaking it, and then throwing a tantrum in the dugout when the reliever comes in and gives up, his runs and that whole thing. So they make an adjustment. They turn him into a long guy, in other words, or they give him openers for his next two start. That works. Then they throw him back into the starting role yesterday, and he completely unravels.
Melted down.
Gutless, but just his whole attitude. It's a guy you say, can you just grow up? Well, he's not. So it's time to send him to timeout. Or how would you handle a kid who's not getting it? So start to do that thing. And Trevor Story, again, the way he handled himself when they fired Cora. And just the stuff I had to listen to from that guy. Get out of here, out of my face with this. And Caleb Durbin, I'm sorry, you may not be a bad guy. You may not be, I have a problem with you personally, but you just cannot play every day in the major leagues and hit 165. We're not going to have that. We're not going to do that. And when are they going to start making some of these decisions on some of these guys, man?
Well, so part of the problem is they don't have a lot of other options at the moment.
I don't care.
No, listen, I'm with you. I'm okay with it. Bayo to me is an easy one. Because, forget it. He's getting worse, not better. And he's not competing. Like, he's got to go back down, and you got to reprogram him. It's got to start all over again.
And I know, I'm saying I want Meyer to now go to short and play every day and hit, lefties, righties, just every day at shortstop, just do that. He hasn't earned it. He hasn't earned it. And you're right to have questions about him, 100%. But I just sort of think, like, if this is the kind of year you're going to have, well, why not start big picture stuff? Okay, who's part of your future, who isn't? And start prioritizing the guys who are part of your future and
Mike,
burying the guys that aren't.
Yeah, sorry. That's where they're headed. I mean, the only question is when. My guess is that Breslo's probably fighting it at this stage because he doesn't want him to give up because then it's on him.
Well, it's a good thing they fired all those hitting coaches because, boy, I've seen a difference.
That's made a big difference.
No, it's they definitely identified the problem. It was the major league hitting staff. Definitely that was it because since they've been gone, whoa.
Yeah, no, they've been ripping it up.
Laser show.
Pretty good.
Good call. Another good call by Breslow.
Rockets everywhere.
Gutless GM.
It's like the 4th of July when they play.
Long commercial-free segment comes your way next.
Oh, yeah!
Thoughts, calls, emails.
Oh, yeah!
I get my jollies out of it. I do. I'm not a good person. Go ahead.
Felger and Mazz.
Oh, yeah!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Thompson passed it up. Tough angle shot. They score! Jack Quinn. And it's 6-3 Buffalo. Second goal of the night for Quinn, who didn't have a goal in the playoffs until tonight.
This is an acute angle one-timer up over the right shoulder of Jacob Dobish. That's going to be it for Dobish. Jacob Fowler, who's sitting right beside me, just got up. The chair is empty. And Fowler is putting on his mask as Dobish has given up a 6th spot. And here comes the playoff debut for Jacob Fowler.
Well, you might as well because you're certainly going to start Dobish in a game 7. Give him a little bit of rest. So here's Fowler, 9-6-2 in the regular season with a .908 save percentage and a .243 goals against.
It's an I told you so Monday. I told you about goaltending. I told you about it. And it did. Then now look, and I'll just stop there. I've proven my point on the goaltending. It's yet another Felger take that when you hear it, it's like contrarian a-hole. What are you talking about? Goaltending's overrated. What do you mean? It's a classic Felger take where you're like, you DB. What are you even saying? And then you play it out and you think about it. Oh, actually, he's got a point. So you see it now because in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's really, there's no good goaltenders left. Not only is there no real good goaltenders, there's no good ones left. Whoever wins the Stanley Cup is going to kind of suck. Whoever wins the Stanley Cup will kind of do so with a bad goaltender or with a platoon goalie or a afterthought goalie. And it's been that way for a while. Whether you've chosen to recognize it or not or see it or not is your problem, not mine. It's been this way for a while. This year, it might have reached its pinnacle or its nadir. It's one lousy goalie after the next, one benched goalie after the next, one the low-salaried goalie after the next. And this Buffalo-Montreal series is taking it to a new extreme. It is. The goaltending in this series has been so putrid.
And I thought this Dobish with Montreal was supposed to be pretty good. Oh, my God. And then, so the funny thing to me, so this was a 3-1 lead for Montreal in a game they ended up losing 8-3. But those first 3 goals they got, that Montreal got, were on 3 shots against Alex Lyon. The first one from that internet guy, whatever, the Jack guy, which he shot harmlessly from the blue line. I was like, oh, my God. This guy's horrible. Lions absolutely blows.
3 goals, 3 shots out of the game. Benched again. They've ping-ponged. Buffalo has. Back between Alex Lyon and this Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Uka, again, rhymes with Tuukka.
Oh, yeah.
Tuukka.
I thought he was Puka.
Puka, Tuukka. Buffalo has no goalie.
Buffalo's save percentage in this series is .871. Montreal's .880.
And not only could you not beat them, you weren't particularly close. And you've got one of the best goalies in the league. So what does goaltending mean? It means it's overrated, is what it means. The better team wins, not the better goalie. And it's just getting proven over and over and over again where I don't need to beat you over the head with it. But this year, I think, has gone to an extreme to the point where even this has to be something of an outlier. Because it's just crazy how these teams are getting by with no goaltending. So we gave you Buffalo. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who's getting this nod tonight in Game 7. Because the other guy's just been so wretched, you can't even...
Lesser of two evils.
But Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, this playoffs, 336 goals against, .875 save percentage. Oof. And he's getting the nod in Game 7. He makes, by the way, $4.75 million, tied for 23rd in the league.
Bruins had a chance when he was in that.
Alex Lyon is the other guy. He's just a veteran floater at this point. He makes $1.5 million. And you couldn't get close to that. And you had one of the best goalies in the league. One of the best goalies on the planet. And it wasn't close. Why? Dummies! Better team wins, not the better goalie. Sorry. Now, in a one-off tonight, like you could say that one of these 2 goalies are going to outperform the other, and you might win a Game 7. But ultimately, whoever wins a series will have been the better team. The Stanley Cup favorite, Colorado, really has no goalie. Or the goalie they thought was going to be the guy isn't the guy. So they're going between, Scott Wedgwood. Scott Wedgwood has gotten most of the games in the postseason. And he's performed well, except he got yanked the last series for a game by Mackenzie Blackwood. Mackenzie Blackwood, I think, was supposed to be their guy. He makes $5.25 million. That's 19th in the league. He's been supplanted by Scott Wedgwood, Blackwood. What does it matter? It's just another Wood in there. It was just another guy. Just another guy. The guy that supplanted him, Wedgwood, makes $1.5 million.
We've got Wood.
Tied for 51st in the league, Mazz. Montreal has steadied it with this Jacob Gobish in the postseason, but they had 3 guys. They rotated 3 guys. They don't have a goalie. They've gone with Gobish, but they don't really have one. They rotated 3 guys. Dobish makes $965,000.
Wow.
Jacob Fowler, who replaced him the other night, makes $923,000. Montembeault, who is supposed to be their guy, makes $3 million. Carolina, the favorite in the East, gone with
Frederick Anderson.
Frederick Anderson, who's older than rope.
Seriously, that guy is like old as dirt.
I think he's 36. The guy they had was Brandon Bussi, your minor leaguer, who you didn't keep. He goes there, had a really good regular season. 247 goals against, 894 save percentage. And he gets beat out by his grandfather in the postseason. Frederick Anderson makes $275. Bussi makes $775,000.
Frederick Anderson, does he even have any, does he even get tested?
Carolina doesn't really have a goalie. Buffalo doesn't really have a goalie. Montreal doesn't really have a goalie. Vegas. Okay. Carter Hart has been their goalie. Carter Hart was a high draft pick in Philadelphia. Was supposed to be the guy in Philadelphia. Sort of flamed out there, ran into some legal problems. He had a sexual assault case, so he sort of took last year off for all intents and purposes. He resurfaces in Vegas for just $2 million a year, tied for 46th highest in the league. And he has supplanted Aiden Hill, who does make a little bit of money, 6.25, won the couple years ago. And he's been their guy so far in the postseason. But they don't really have, I guess Aiden Hill is their goalie, but they used 3 guys this year. Vegas used Aiden Hill, Akara Schmidt, I don't know who that is, and this Carter Hart guy. They don't really have a goalie. Whoever wins the Stanley Cup is not even really going to have a goalie. Don't you understand? And if they do, it's Aiden Hill, who will have been on the bench, or Blackwood, who's been on the bench, or is that Wedgwood? I lose track. Whichever of the Woods there was supposed to be the guy. Has been replanted by the other Wood guy there.
Driftwood.
There's no goalies. It's all just Driftwood. So it all goes back to your team's poorly constructed. The money you're paying Swayman's a freaking waste.
I mean, when you talk about Colorado and Carolina, they have nobodies in goal, and they were combined 16-1 in the playoffs.
Because they're the best teams.
The other team barely has the puck.
It's the best team. It's not the best goalie. Get it out of your heads.
And these two teams tonight playing their Game 7, I think in the 2 first periods of the last 2 games combined, they've scored like 14 goals.
It's absurd, some of these goals that are going in. From distance, off the corner boards, clear shots without even a screen, just whiffs. No reason this Uka, which rhymes with
Tuka.
This Uka Pekka-Luukkonen just likes to lift up his pad. He's a guy.
Hey, he gives you a peek.
Yeah, that'll just.
Because that's how the Bruins got one.
Very good, Murray. This Uka Pekka-Luukkonen has this move where he's in fine position. Pads are along the ice. He's in a perfect butterfly. And he likes to just, whoop. He just will lift a leg and give you along the ice, which no goalie gives you in today's day and age. But this Pekka-Luukkonen can't help but just give you a little look-see.
Give you a little leg.
Yes, gives you
like a woman trying to get a ride on the highway.
Dude, just keep your pad on the ice. What are you lifting your leg for?
Maybe I had to take a leak.
The Athletic knows it.
Like a dog.
Headline: is the NHL's #1 goalie era ending? Why playoff tandems are on the rise? They write. I sent this to Schmatz. I sent this to Rick Radzik, our program director. I said, if only you had a host with the foresight, forethought, and out-of-the-box thinking to say something like this before everyone catches on. Because now he's been chirping me on the goalie thing for some reason.
Did he answer you?
Yes, but he's just another one that just can't admit defeat. The goaltending thing is overrated, Schmatz and everybody else. The days of Patrick Roy, the days of even Tim Thomas, it's just over. And maybe it'll come back. I don't know, but it's not here right now. These franchise goalies don't really win, and when they do, they're kind of special circumstances. As this story points out real quick, it was interesting. And they talked to front office guys around the league who say, yeah, this is sort of happening with the goalie position. Another front office source pointed out that the recent postseason struggles of workhorse goalies like Andrew Vasilevsky and the Winnipeg Jets' Connor Hellebuck as further evidence that logging 55-odd regular season starts before playing every second night during the playoffs may be simply too much to ask for the modern goalie. While there have been outliers who have pulled it off, for example, Bobrovsky with Florida, those heroics may be becoming more rare. Both of the seasons Vasilevsky won the Stanley Cup in 2020 and 21 were abbreviated due to the pandemic, and Adin Hill, when he won the Cup with Vegas, appeared in just 27 games the year he won the Cup. So even some of these quote-unquote franchise goalies, when they're playing every other night in the playoffs and carrying you to the Cup, they will have had abbreviated seasons.
Yep.
As I've pointed out to you, that of the league's top 19 highest paid goalies, only one has started a game in the second round, and that's Anaheim's Lucas Dostal, who's out. In fact, the second highest salaried goalie in round 2 to have started the majority of their team's playoff games is Dan Vladar. And he was 33rd in the league among netminders in terms of AAV. 12 of the top 19 salaried goalies, all making more than this Blackwood, who was tied for, as I said, 19th, didn't even qualify for the postseason. 12 of the top 19 didn't even make the playoffs, Mazz. You're wasting your money if you're spending on a guy in net. You're wasting your money.
Vladar ended up with Philly, right?
Yep.
Okay, because I get him and Boosie mixed up.
Right, exactly. They're just Bruins system flotsam. They just land somewhere else and then get surrounded by a good team playing well, and all of a sudden they're in the playoffs or whatever. Meanwhile, you got the best guy in the league or one of them, and you're out of the playoffs and one and done. What good is it? What good is that $8 million you're spending in that? So it's case closed. If you decide to argue, you're just
stubborn,
or you just can't admit defeat, or that's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm right about this. I do think it's gone too far. Like, Buffalo and Montreal, if they had better goaltending, one of those two teams would have been through by now. But it is what it is. You're wasting your money in net with Jeremy Swayman. Fact. Sorry. I'm sorry that doesn't taste right. It's just accurate. Here's an update from Big Jim Murray. We come right back with your calls here on a Reentry Monday.